Hey everybody, Matt Mullen here, session number 5 of Making Money with Email. This is our last session of this series. I hope it's been helpful to you. I hope that you found some motivation to go out there and build a consistent system that will help you to grow your list and that will help you to be regular and effective in your weekly, multiple times a week communications with emails. Know what to send is what I'm saying. And then today we're going to finish up some of the ways that people are making money with email. So previously we talked about segmentation being really important. We're going to build on that. That's kind of a fundamental component here. And we talked about the opportunities within affiliate marketing. Well, today we're going to take another little look at different ways that people make money. In the first place we're going to start is selling your own product. Now, regardless of whether you are you have a product or you think that you might have a product someday, this conversation is for you. And sometimes that product could be, oh man, there's so many things you could sell. Once you have a big list, all of a sudden you have people that care about you and your subject, the fact that you're a subject matter expert. So what can you build that you can sell? Well, courses, ebooks, video series, conferences. There's one called Tastemakers where they do in-person events, but they also do virtual events. If you have a big list of a target audience, certainly that's a place to go. Membership groups, digital products. I threw in here autograph books because I had this idea from the other day when we were talking about, the Disney cruise. What could I sell? Well, I could sell a PDF of an autograph book that somebody could take and take with them on their cruise. That would be fun. Of course, they print it at home and take it and stand in line and get the Disney princesses to sign it. It's a whole thing. So Ryan from The Tiny Life, his digital products are all around building tiny houses. And so these are big PDFs. Basically, it's an electronic book, 245 pages with 160 diagrams. He's selling it for around $40. And heck, if you save yourself some time, or one mistake could cost you thousands of dollars when you're building one of these things, his product makes a lot of sense. And he has a lot of content on his website related to building tiny houses. So it's like, if the free stuff's good, the paid stuff must be even better. Laura from Momables, she has done meal plans for years. And she does that on the back of a great list. I told you about Cassidy from Succulents and Sunshine, right? She's selling a course about how to grow a particular type of plant. And she is thriving with that. As I mentioned in previous sessions, if you haven't done so, go sign up for her system. Excuse me. Go sign up for her quick start guide and see how she takes you from this email series into a paid funnel. I think you might find that interesting. Wholesome Yum, she does a lot of ebooks. So if you've ever thought about doing ebooks, go check out how she uses her email list to promote ebooks. I think you might find that interesting. I'm going to do a breakdown today of a business model that sells products. In fact, I think I'll just start there because I think it's really interesting. I'm going to share with you, this is Little Bins for Big Hands. Is that it? We're going to get it wrong. Little Bins for Little Hands. That makes much more sense. Okay, so she has a lot of activities that teach kids to use their brain and their bodies to get into science and math and art. So she's got these different products or projects that are really fun for people to jump into. For example, here's an amazing paper chain challenge. Okay, and so this is something that with instructions and things that they can do, and you just download this PDF. She tells you everything that you need, and you need this printable sheet. Okay, so when you go to get this printable sheet, you have to answer a couple questions like that. Next, and then she emails it to you. Okay, so it's a freebie in exchange for an email address. Now look what she does. I'm going to show you I haven't even planned this. I'm just pulling up her most recent emails to me that I'm on the list. And so here's my trash of stuff that she sent me. Okay, so let's go through some of these. 4th of July activities, plan these now. Okay, so she's got a whole bunch of themed ones. And guess what? She's also got a $3 4th of July project pack that has all these things in one. That's a real simple buy. It's a real simple mention. She's got some other freebies. Okay, so that's kind of interesting, right? 2 days ago, she sent process art. I don't even know what process art is, but I don't need a bunch of supplies. So if I click on one of these, it's going to take me to something that it's a project I can do with my kids. If you want more ways to explore art, click here for extra process art activities. All right, so there's some printables. Oh, but she's also got this. Library club members have access to cool projects. You can join. Let's join now. For just $3 a month. Simple. And she's built this up where there's small transactions that lead up to meaningful income for her. Let's go back to this. Let's keep going through. Number 1 summer projects you should try. Okay, try that one. Make ice cream in a bag. Oh, fun, right? So she's got that. She's got a bunch of these. She's got camp ideas. All right. I want to get to what I wanted to show you. Our Lively Lemon activity pack. This one's another one. Lemon themed pack, $3. Now, what Sarah has done is she also has other products that there's a summer fun bundle. You know, this is a $30 thing. So she's taking all these things and putting them together, probably. But then she's coupling her free stuff with her paid stuff in a very unique way. And you get used to it. You're going through this, you get used to seeing how she's doing this. Free and paid, free and paid. She kind of commingles the things. All right, here's a free one. And did you know she's got famous artist packs? This one's $20 with different things. Now, for her, she has mastered the art of getting a graphic designer to make these things for her and just release them. So she just keeps turning stuff into products. So in her business, she is a content creator that is selling some premium content. She is a prolific content creator, and she's also being prolific at the paid content too. Doesn't that make sense? It's pretty cool. This one's included in the club. She's got another. Is this the same club? I'm not even sure. Oh, this club is $100 a year. So that's different. I don't know the difference between all these products, but you get where I'm going with that. I hope that helps one of you as you think about your business. That is Little Bins for Little Hands. Sarah is doing amazing work. And I can just see it. She's emailing quite regularly, almost every other day. Yeah, every 2 days. Sometimes every day. Let's look at this pattern. 28th, 27th. She's not shy about sending emails. And you shouldn't be either when you have something awesome. She's providing value in every one of these. So before I go too far, I want to share with you what I believe is critical to being good at selling. And I'm not even talking about, this is not even an email thing here. This is about digital creators selling products in this internet space. This is Kimberly from Sweet Red Poppy. When Kimberly and I worked together, we did some great stuff. I asked her, would you do a video testimonial and tell me what life was like before Matt working with me and then what life was like after? She said, sure. I expected her to hold up her phone and just start talking to it. Well, she does craft tutorials for a living, so she has a studio. So when she was filming and she had the makeup on, she did 90 seconds where she basically said, life, this is how I used email before I met Matt. After I met Matt, it's been so great. And in fact, it's made us hundreds of thousands of dollars using his system. Now, when she says that, that's gold for me, because If you hear Kimberly, you don't know me. The people that are just checking me out on the, why would you sign up for this before? And Camila can't say because I asked you to. Before that, it was because AdThrive at the time said, maybe you should, right? But you didn't know about me. I'm not McDonald's or Coca-Cola or something. So testimonials are huge. How else do we know that we can trust the people that we're giving money to? So my question to you is, on anything that you're considering selling, do you have testimonials on it? Have you taken the time to request those and get those? My guess is that probably not. Most creators in the space have not done that. All right, next. If we look at the actual sales process, what you'll find most often with email is that people are doing sales launches. You know what I mean by a sales launch, right? It's like, hey, something new is here. It's basically a promotion of a sale that you're doing. Here, if you're going to do a sales launch, and I think you should, here are what I believe are the most important elements that will help you be successful as you do it in email. First of all, I mentioned testimonials. Go get those. Even if you've got a brand new product nobody else has, seed the product with people who will say things. Give it away for free if you need to, so that you can get testimonials, and then related to that, reviews. Check this out right here. Maybe you've seen this. So Email on Autopilot is the name of my course, and I'm getting reviews all the time. This one's 4 days ago. If I can tell people, if I can share the reviews or testimonials with people, this is amazing to help people understand. So Darcy says, it's made me rethink everything I used to think about email, blah, blah, blah. I'm so excited about email. Riyadh says, I really enjoyed going through his course and his Zoom training. Happy I did it. He truly knows what he's talking about. I hired Matt and I want to shout from the rooftop. My list has been growing like crazy now. This guy knows his stuff. Worth your time. Matt doesn't waste your time. This one was interesting. I appreciate that Matt follows up after class and encourages students to ask him questions. Okay, on and on and on. All right. So we've got people that have given me good feedback. Doesn't that help you have confidence that, oh, if he's helping, because I can't fake this. Well, I mean, I could with some effort, but Trustpilot is a third-party service for this purpose. That if I trust, I trust these people because they're real, vetted reviews. So use this. By the way, I want to share something fun with you. This is a sidebar. Check this out. So picture the magic. Scroll on down here. It'll take a second here. Okay, good. Let's pop on down here. Look at this. I have Trustpilot reviews for Picture the Magic and SiteJabber, which is just like Picture the Magic. So if I click on this Trustpilot, I have 200 reviews. Guess what this is for? I'm not even selling a product. This is for my Disney Cruise Quick Start Guide. So at the end of it, I asked them if this was helpful. And if it was, would you mind leaving a review? Now, I originally set out to do that as an experiment to see, would the reviews help me with my Google rankings? I'm not sure if it did or didn't, but doggone it, look what people are saying about my Quick Start Guide. People are leaving reviews about a Quick Start Guide. This one was 4 days ago. Makes it so easy to understand. Very informative. We received the lessons in regards to, found it very helpful. I forwarded them on to my rest of my family as well. Wonderful, insightful information about cruise lines. I learned so much. I'm more excited than ever. Replace the unknown with anticipation. Okay, Alicia is my wife's name, and so they come from her. Some cool things you can do here. That's the way I do that, is that at the end of the email, it's just built into the sequence that it says, did you enjoy this? If so, give me a testimonial. Okay, back to this. I also recommend giving some sort of guarantee when you're selling something in your launch. Why? Because for the reason we just talked about, trust. Look, I used to worry that, if I gave a 30-day money-back guarantee or whatever it would be, that people would just rip me off. They'd grab my stuff and then I'd never get my fair share. I'm just done worrying about that anymore. If those people do it, okay, then I think that the universe will reward them for that in some way, shape, or form down the road. But in my case, I don't have time to chase it. And it happens so infrequently. We worry about that, and it's usually not, you know, for us small businesses, it's not as big of a deal as we might think. Second, you don't want the opposite of good testimonials out there. You want people to be happy, saying good things. So just give them a guarantee. Sometimes some stuff doesn't work. Sometimes it's not right for you. And my thing may not be right for you. That's okay. I'll give you your money back. I had that happen recently where I found out that somebody was upset, didn't realize that that they felt bad about how much money they had spent on my services, and they were griping about it out there. I'm like, what? When I found out, you know, just give me your money back. I don't need them out there saying, you know, whatever they're saying just because it didn't work for her. It doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people. So just that was important to me. All right, this one's really critical. Make your offer go away. Take it away. Give it and then take it away. Scarcity drives sales. You've seen this in your own life where you are spurred to action because you're afraid you're going to miss out on the sale, right? Oh no, the $30 discount code is going to go away. I've got to find my wallet. I've got to do this right now. There's no more excuses. So this works every time, every single time. And the other thing that I like to do is I like to consider adding some new value, some sort of bonus. So if you're selling the super duper course this time, maybe next time you add in some additional Facebook Live trainings or something into that launch to make that special. I'm going to give you an example here of sales copywriting. This is different than blog writing, folks. Check this out. This is a company called Truvani, and they sell protein powder. Look at this protein powder. I love this product page. All right. For those of you who ever had protein powder, we all assume that we're going to get more protein. Okay, so that's kind of baseline. That you're going to get a certain amount of grams of protein, blah blah blah. But what's the next thing that you worry about? The taste. So look at this sales page and how much they talk about taste. This is obviously an SEO title, but the rest of it, fall in love with the amazing taste. The taste is great. You could drink it as chocolate milk. How does it taste so good? Chocolate is my favorite. It's so delicious. Really clean ingredients. Okay, so that one's healthy. Oh, and then down here, how does it taste so good? This satisfied for hours. Satisfies your sweet tooth. No weird aftertaste. They love the taste. It tastes like brownie butter. But we're not done. It's on and on and on. Look at all these reviews. They love their reviews here. Okay. And these reviews, for the most part, just look like real people that held up a phone. That adds authenticity to it. Here's a get money back guarantee. See that? Told you about guarantees. I love this too. Your plant-based protein, here are some answers. So their FAQ is very extensive. And they answer basically any question you can think of to ask about it. They put the answer here. But we're not done. Look at all these reviews. 7,100 reviews. And it just goes on and on and on and on and on. You can read them all. Okay? I'm giving you this as an example of a product page that you could go mimic. Look, I get it. It takes time to build these things out, but it also took you time to create a product to begin with, or a service. Take the time to build out an appropriate landing page so that your email will work more effectively. That's how this relates to the email, you see. So a couple of things related to that. that I notice. Their copywriting, they have time-bound offers that goes away. And probably most important is they figured out the main thing that people want with the product, and that's great taste. That's the main thing. Now, in my world, I teach a lot of things. I teach how to grow the list. I talk about automations. I talk about copywriting, GDPR, single versus double opt-in, pop-ups, forms, on and on and on. My email and autopilot course is all of that. Do you know what people really want to know though? How do I grow my list? So whenever I'm advertising, which I don't, but whenever I'm talking about email and autopilot, I am talking about list growth. Why? Because that's what most people want to know about. So for you, what problem does your product or service solve? When you're writing your emails, think like Truvani. How did they do this? All right, next up. Let's talk about sales funnels. I hate the word funnel. I don't know why. Maybe because it's just, there's kind of like these hype masters out there that just use the word funnels all the time. So I think it has a bad rap. But all we're doing is it's a sales sequence, right? Now, first, what you're going to notice here is that there's a lot of emails in this sales funnel. You don't have to do all of them. The more that you do, the more sales you will make. You run the risk of irritating your audience. Yes, I get that, but I'll show you how you can avoid that in just a second. So bear with me. Now, there's a billion ways to do a sales funnel. This is just one. I didn't invent this, but you will recognize it. You see it all the time, don't you? So there's some sort, it starts with some sort of tease. Hey, what's your biggest struggle with, I don't know, using your silhouette? Well, I never really understand it all well, buttons do, and blah, blah, blah. You want them to reply. You want to get some user-generated feedback off of that. Then the next day or soon thereafter, there's a launch. And this email is like, we have this brand new course for how to use your silhouette this summer. And it goes over everything you need to know. And this case, this is not one of those short emails that I do. This is a longer form email, a longer form description of your email. It's almost like a sales page in an email. Now, these next three, 4, 5, these can interchangeable, right? They're not, don't have to go in any order here. But one of the emails should be focusing on the main feature. In Truvani's case, they would dive deeply into the taste. In my case, I talk about, Jim used my technique and he grew his list by 3 billion%, and I'm gonna just share a bunch of case studies there. Focus on the main feature, because that's what most people want to know. If it's how much money how to save money in a relocation, focus on that. Even though you're also talking about companies that they can use and packing and all that, and packing tips. If the main thing is saving money, you focus on that. Testimonials. Have an email where you're just like, Kimberly said this, Jill said that, Damien said this, Caleb said that, right? Boom, 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 boom. You give the whole, just put them in the email, a nice ugly email that's just chock full of screenshots of things people said to you in email or on Facebook or wherever. Another email can be one that just simply overcomes objections. What am I doing here? Well, basically what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, here is everything that I can possibly think of why you haven't bought this product yet. Number one, it's too expensive. Okay, look, I get it that, money can be tight, but email is an investment in your business. And in fact, when you buy email and autopilot, I'm going to teach you how to make $8 million with your email list. So this $500 price tag is nothing, or whatever or why isn't it in pink? I wish it was in pink. I'm not buying it because it's not in pink. You say, yeah, it's not in pink. Maybe next year we'll do it in pink, right? Just list every objection that you can possibly think of. These are critical right here, folks. You've seen this all. Maybe it feels a little sneaky. I don't know, but ends today. You have to do these. You have to tell people that they're going to end, that the sale is over. So at least do one on the final day. but you can do multiples. I'm showing you an example here that has 3. I've done, depending on the product and the service, I've done more than that. But you know, ends in 6 hours. Here's a testimony. Here's what Billy Bob had to say about it. Then, you know, an hour before midnight. Last chance, ends in an hour. Grab it now or forever hold your peace. And then here's the one that makes me go, ooh, are we really doing that? Yeah, it works. And that is the next day, you extend the offer. And the gist of this is, well, the deadline came and went, and some of you missed it. That's why, to accommodate you, I'm giving you one last chance and extending it one final day. You'll pick up another 20 to 15 or 15 to 20% of sales in that day. It's crazy. I've seen it time and time again. Okay. I hope that helps. Now, there's a lot of emails. How do we avoid annoying people? Well, allow people to mute the promotion. The way that you would do this is after maybe the first email, you don't allow it necessarily on the first email, but maybe on the second email going forward, you say up at the top, somewhere in smaller print, say something along the lines, are you absolutely, or if you're certain that you're not interested in the how to be as awesome as Giselle promotion, click here to mute future emails. And so when they click that, it sets this tag. And then every email going forward excludes anybody with that tag. That's a technical way to manage that, and it's a friendly way to avoid getting complaints or unsubscribes. Now, if you're selling any sort of product out there, my experience has been that when I've worked with my clients who are primarily content creators, bloggers, YouTubers, podcasters, whatever, they don't have a lot of experience with this next thing. But I'm telling you this, if you're going to sell even one product, please do this simple exercise, and that is to create a promotional calendar. What are we talking about here? We're just identifying the times of the year where it makes sense for you to make a big deal about your product. So here, I'm suggesting that you look at the next 6 to 12 months. Go to the park, pull out your notebook, and write January, February, March, and on. And then decide which of those months does it make sense to push your product. If you have, I don't know, sometimes Black Friday is that time. Sometimes New Year's with New Resolution is that time. Sometimes you have a Valentine's Day cookbook. Boom. Wouldn't that make sense to do that end of January and early February? So you look at that. When does it make sense to do some additional push? And then you're going to create scarcity and urgency around each promotion. Now, a promotion can be a discount. I have that here, but I suggest that you use that sparingly. Black Friday is a decent time to discount if you're gonna. But really, adding something of value can bump up the perceived value of the thing. So if Rushit and Giselle get together on Rushit, he'll include his ebook together with Giselle's course. Maybe Rushit will do it for free just to get the exposure. And Giselle now has something that she can add in there that she can say, this is normally a $30 value. This is normally a $300 value. You're getting this as a bonus when you buy from me in June. Change up the theme of what you're selling. So email on autopilot. Guess what? That course is my building blocks, but I like Lego pieces. I'll pull out the modules and drop them into different courses all the time. For example, I have done in the past, I need to relaunch it, email on autopilot for Instagram. Guess what? It's the same stuff that I teach in the course. It's just the first part is catered to Instagrammers. Most of the rest of it is still fundamentally the same. So I create an additional section at the beginning. I put a different title on it. Presto, I have a new product that is more catered to a targeted audience. Partnership, we kind of talked about that. Other things that you can do to add in value is you can do free consulting calls. You can do masterminds like this. I've done with email and autopilot when I'm just selling the course. See, in this case, Raptive is paying for it. But when I'm selling the course, I'll throw in a mastermind like this that goes with the course. So people buying the course feel like they're getting this extra value. You might just do Facebook Lives that show how to cook a certain thing or how to do a certain craft. And you're going to do 2 of those in the next 2 months. Normally, each one of those sessions would cost $99 to join, but right, you know what I'm saying? So you just create value. Create some bonus checklists, printables, resource worksheets that you can add into the product that wouldn't otherwise be there. It doesn't cost you much. Another trick is to launch a new product or kill an old product. Almost gone or new arrivals, those always get our attention. So it's a reason to talk about things. I mean, I've mentioned Rick Steves a couple of times. He has guidebooks for every year. The guidebook to, the guidebook to France. He updates that only a little bit every single year, but every year there's a 2020 whatever version that he releases, and people want to buy the new one. So at the end of the previous year, he can discount the old one and then launch the new one, and you always get this influx of sales. All right. If you have any questions about selling something with email, one of the questions that I have is, when is the right time to, I don't have a slide on this, is when is the right time to sell stuff in my system? Well, the answer is it depends. I do not shy away of mentioning it in the quick start guide or in my earliest emails. Sometimes you might do what's called a tripwire, where, well, I actually have a slide on that somewhere. A tripwire is somebody signed up for they signed up for a newsletter or something, and then it says, but wait, there's more. You can get my French Pantry Insider's Guide video series. It's normally $29, but as a new subscriber, you can get it for $19 for only for the next 15 minutes. Okay, so you've seen that before. That's called a tripwire. That's one way to do it. But you can also, in your quick start guide, you could make mentions in a footer. You could devote an entire email to it. After you've given them 5 days of free stuff, give them 1 day of hard sell that says, okay, I hope you enjoyed this free series, but I got to tell you about my French Pantry Insider's Guide video series. This is where we really get into the meat of it, and it's so worth your time because it'll really give you great results, blah, blah, blah. It's only $19, right? So that could be at the end of the quick start guide. In the Forever series, work evergreen sales stuff into those. But usually we're doing broadcast promotions in the same way that I was talking about here, once you have a promotional calendar in place. The great thing about those is that you can often just reuse them every quarter or every year and just kind of make little tweaks to them once you have the fundamental launch package together. That's selling stuff. All right, another way that people make money is to actually get sponsors or brands relationships. Is anybody doing this right now? Is anybody selling space in their emails? I suspect that people aren't. All right. I highly suggest that you assign a value to your email list, even if you don't intend to charge for it. Does anybody do sponsored posts or that sort of thing? Because if you've done that, then you have the basis for doing this. If sponsored posts is for your blog or your social is in your revenue kit, I would say that email, you're natural for this. All right, there's some things that you can do to get started. First, you could create a newsletter template that showcases an ad. So you show somebody what this might look like. Start out by putting your own product or a partner or an affiliate offer in that space so that it looks like what you want it to look like. All right. At the bottom of your newsletters, create a link that says sponsor this newsletter. Send that to a Google form or a type form or something like that. Invite brands to contact you just by letting them know that it's even a possibility when somebody reads your newsletter, sponsors newsletter. Okay. You need to find out your demographics. So do some research online, get some basic surveys, conduct a survey so that you at least have something that you can back up for a brand that says, okay, my audience is ages 35 to 55. They make over $150,000 a year. They really like drinking grape juice while riding the back of a flying eagle, you know, this type of stuff. Those are the kinds of things that you're going to want to find out. You can create a media kit, which the media kit, I'm sure you know all about that if you've looked into sponsorships at all, but you're going to add into the media kit all this information about demographics, what you charge, who it's right for, etc. Some companies that are monetizing newsletters right now. So there's one called Sparkloop that basically there are these newsletters like James Clear, 1440, Punchbowl, whatever. These are big newsletters. What they do is let me find the partner network. That's what I'm looking for. They call it the partner network. So you recommend newsletters to your audience, and then they pay you for every subscriber that you get. Okay. So the gist of it is that when you pick a newsletter to recommend, and then you just recommend it to your audience, you can do that in an email. Oh, it's just like an affiliate link. Or you can do it when somebody signs up for your newsletter, there's a modal that will recommend them. Okay. So this is one that you might, I'll just drop, there's no affiliate relationship here. I'll just drop the link in here if anybody's interested, but Sparkloop is the name of the company. They pay $2 to $20 for every new subscriber you send their way. All right. So this would be a great way a very simple way to cover some of the costs of your newsletter. If the thing that I've noticed here is that most of the newsletters, they have a bent towards B2B, less of a consumer take on it, or their news sites or the front office sports or this kind of thing. So go check that out. There might be something there for you. Paved is a platform where you can basically have a marketplace. So let's say that you are Flipboard or Inside or Entrepreneur or Smashing Magazine. You can post your profile and say, yes, we take sponsorships for our newsletter. Let's try this. And so then it gives you different newsletters that I'd have to sign up, different newsletters that you can advertise in. Well, you can be the one that gets advertised, that people reach out to, okay? And I had a conversation with their CEO last month, and they're doing some very cool things, and some big brands are with them. So the gist of this is that it inserts ads, just like these others that I'm going to mention, into your emails that you're sending out. And the payouts they're all over the place. So it could be $2 CPM, it could be $20 CPM. So it's something worth checking out, though, if you want to get into this. What else? Live Intent. Okay, so Live Intent is another company. They do in the same way that Raptive does programmatic ads. They give you a piece of code to insert into your template, and then they insert the ads in there. You're going to see, or each subscriber is going to see different things based off of what Live Intent knows about them. Rushit might see Honda ads. I'm going to see hair gel ads, right? I mean, it's just different stuff we're going to see based off of our interests. So Live Intent. The CPMs, again, are going to vary dramatically based off of your product or service or what you're into. I'll tell you, Disney Vacations have bigger advertising dollars behind them because they cost more. So they pay a little bit more than, say, a Mickey Mouse coloring page. So if somebody's searching for the Grand Floridian and Live Intent knows that about them, they possibly can get paid more. And then I mentioned this earlier, ConvertKit is launching right now something called the Sponsor Network, where they will go negotiate on your behalf, if you're big enough, with brands. So they could say, I'm going to go to Athletic Greens and say, look, I want you to advertise in Dwellex. That's a perfect match, isn't it? And they're going to say, yes, we want to do that. And then they're going to pair it up, and then they're going to take a cut for making that connection for you. Okay. A couple of pieces of advice if you decide to do this yourself, which I recommend. If you've got brand partners, do it yourself. You'll make way more than using one of these other networks. First of all, offer the email send as an upsell, and don't be afraid to give it a value. Even if you intend to give it away for free as part of an overall sponsorship package, you need to have a dollar value assigned to it. Every time we send out a newsletter, buddy, it's going to cost you $500. It's going to cost you $5,000. It's going to cost you $50,000, whatever the number is, okay? Assign it a value, even if you don't intend to collect. When you're working with people, you're going to want to book well in advance for both of your sanity. And you're going to create a strong promotional calendar where you just have to get organized on this stuff, okay? We're going to launch this then, we're going to promote this then, because that's what, on the brand side, that's what they need. That's how they live their life. You're going to provide previews ahead of time, deliver on time, communicate immediately to make sure that you're hitting, so that you tell what's happening, what you think, how it's going, and give stats. Because that's how they're going to measure success. And especially if the stats look good, you want to proactively offer those stats. Hopefully you've had the conversation beforehand so you know what kind of metrics they're looking for to begin with. And then make goods. Let's say your campaign doesn't work so well. Doing a make good costs you almost nothing. A make good basically means I'm going to send out another email if my first email didn't work for them, to try to get them a little bit more coming back. I'm not going to charge them anything. It's called a make good. All right. Here are some specific tactics that I've had some people use. This one was fun. A huge food blogger partnered with a huge grocery chain. And this was 2 summers ago, and did a produce quick start guide, summer produce quick start guide. So it was a 5 email sequence where every recipe that was featured in the sequence was a sponsorship. It was a sponsored post paid for by that grocery chain. Then the sponsorship was mentioned in the email itself again. And all new, they were able to dangle this as a lead magnet. So the blogger got new subscribers. The brand, of course, had the other sponsored posts that they were paying for normally, but this bonus put them in front of people who really want this stuff, because an email subscriber intent is much higher than somebody just visiting the site. And it drove more people back to those sponsored posts. This is great. You can invite your existing subscribers to go through it. So anyway, they were able to charge a nice premium on top of that and just add extra value into an already existing campaign. It was great. They agreed on the duration. This is only going to run for the summer produce, and then it's going to end. So that helps you to identify the costs. Here's another one that you could do. It's called an email power boost. If you have a brand partner that likes you, go back to a campaign that worked well, one that they were happy with the result, a sponsored post, excuse me. And then say, hey, tell you what, I've been working on growing my list and my target audience is really all over it. It's fantastic. I will do 3 emails, 1 email per month, called an email power boost, where I'm going to send an email that promotes that sponsored post again. And I'm going to promote it in 3 different ways so it doesn't get stale. So let's say that you have a sponsorship with Fleischmann's Yeast. You could write one email about that smell of fresh baked bread in the morning. You could write another one about the perfect avocado toast. And you could write another email on another month that is my favorite way to teach kids to bake. So Fleischmann Yeast promoted or sponsored your white bread post. Each one of those 3 emails drives back to that same post. They're going to love it because it revitalizes that post and brings people back to it. And you can say, look, I'm going to do it for only 20% of what, the original sponsorship. It's a great way to kind of get going with somebody who already likes you and to learn about doing email sponsorships. Any questions on that before I close out? Some last thoughts here. Be organized with this. Do not do this haphazardly because the brands, they don't live that way. Also, don't rely on your agents or management companies to do this for you because they don't get it. They don't know how to sell email. Most bloggers aren't real great at email, so this hasn't become a thing. But if you're good at it, you can have this be a regular revenue stream. And by the way, I had like in a very small list, just to give an example, I had a very small list, but highly targeted. I had a brand that paid me every single month. It was like $500 a month, every single month for the course of a year. A contract ended up being for 3 years, but we started out with 1 year. And so what did I make off of that? I made $18,000 over the course of 3 years by sending 30 emails. And it wasn't hard to do. And of course, the larger your list, the more you can charge. No budget, meaning your brand doesn't have a budget, offer this to them for free to show them the results if you want to get your foot in the door with somebody. And then also don't judge the results on the first try. If it's the first time you've ever mentioned a brand, it's going to be a little jarring to your audience. Not jarring, and they're just kind of like, what? Oh, that's an ad. Okay. But if you get somebody like I did that was committed for the long haul, those ads actually become more effective over time because they start to realize that, oh yeah, Matt really loves that stuff. He promotes that stuff all the time. It becomes more authentic by repetition. All right, let's wrap that up there. I mean, we can go on and on about selling stuff, about making money in your email list. There's, as you can tell, there's as many ways to do that as there are ways to make money in business. It's just what I've tried to instill in this mastermind are the following. Number 1, your existing traffic is your best source of list growth. You're probably not tapping into that traffic source like you could. Number 2, you can use email marketing automations to create a journey, a story, and a brand. We talked about the Forever series as a great way to do that. That's not the only way to do it, but it's a helpful start. Number 3, we talked about building trust before you can sell anything. Email is a fantastic way to build trust, to create a community, to establish a rapport with somebody that has given you that intimate access to their holy inbox. Okay, that's a special relationship. They've special trust they've given you. Honor it by delivering them frequent, consistent awesomeness. If you'll do these things and then start playing around with some of these sources that I talked about, whether it's affiliate, whether it's selling your own product, whether it's getting into sponsorships or something else, there's a business to be had there when you have a thriving, growing list. You'll hear it all the time. The riches are in the niches. Your audience is your niche, if you'll figure out how to serve them. I hope this has been helpful to you to think about making money with email in a slightly different way. It's been fun to get to know you a little bit. And for those of you who watched, thanks. We've had a really active group that are watching after hours, I guess. And I appreciate you doing that. I posted each one of the replays in the Facebook group. I don't intend to take that down immediately. So feel free to take your time going through those videos. If you have questions, hit me up directly or use the Facebook group to communicate with me. I want you to be successful. Lastly, if this has been useful to you, I have 2 favors to ask. First, tell your ad or your Raptive representative, whether that's through support@raptive.com or if you have a direct contact, let them know that this has been helpful, because they paid real money for this, and I appreciate that. And their trust in me, and our business relationship has been fantastic over the years. They're a good company, and they care deeply about your success. I think that that benefits us both. If you say nice things about me, because obviously it helps me, but I think it helps you too, because you're appreciating their investment in these other ways and you're getting value out of it, will encourage them to do that on whatever the next thing is, whether it's AI tools or SEO or video, or I don't know, whatever the thing is that they can help with and bring experts in on. So I'm going to stick around. If anybody that's here with me live has any questions, I'm happy to answer them. But otherwise, I look forward to meeting you all in person. How about, would that be? How about we do one in Spain? Would that be cool? We Raptive does a, maybe they do a big one, and they have churros and tapas at the break. Yeah, I'm down for that. That sounds great. Maybe even some paella. Fun to say, fun to spell, fun to eat. That's what I say about paella. So, all right. Look, thanks everybody. Be well, and keep me posted of your successes or if you have any questions. All right. Thanks everybody.